So we are back with a brand new episode of Walkin and Talkin with Tim, and my guest today is Liz Arking. Now, Liz is a sales associate and the marketing specialist at Weichert Premier in Haddonfield.
Yes.
And you didn't think I was going to get that right.
You got it. Thank you for having me.
I got it. So let's start out by telling folks, you tell them exactly what it is that you do and at Weichert and what's like.
So I work with Weichert Premier in Haddonfield. As Tim said, I'm on the #1 team in listings 2 years in a row. That is the Deposito Group. Over 50 transactions a year and 20+ million in sales. The Gloucester, Camden, Burlington County area is my specialty. I live in Haddonfield. Our office is in Haddonfield. My kids are in school there. I try to engulf myself in the community as much as possible, and as a result have had quite a good amount of skill and luck with buyers in the area. I came from over near Moorestown, so I'm pretty well versed over there as well. And really just happy to be in the mix and the hunt and get your offers selected and approved. And listing is when you watch everyone come to you and the bidding wars begin. We have a $1.2 million home on my street, so who's gonna know the neighborhood better? But it comes live tomorrow, so bring me a buyer.
Bring you a buyer. That's what it's all about, right? So ironically, we're making a video. Ironically, that's how I met you. So I had never really met Liz before we talked about doing this, really. I mean, we once at Jersey Man, we ran into each other, but I saw you make a video downtown Haddonfield. I think it was what kind of restaurant?
I've done Downtown Cookies.
It was a cookie place, that's right.
Sparrow's Popcorn. And
nah, it was a cookie place.
Those are always at my open houses. You'll never have a better cookie.
But the cookie video was really cool, and I thought, oh, that's really cool. I got to get her on the show. So, and I'd seen you all over the place anyway, just because I saw you on social media at Jersey Man, different events, that kind of thing. So Liz is a very popular girl, and we're going to get into that, right? So let's jump right into Liz. And so you told me you're from Lexington, Kentucky.
Yes.
So she's a Southern girl.
I'm a wildcat.
Right, you're a wildcat. You said your dad was a printer.
Yes.
You said your grandfather had a radio show?
My grandfather had his own singing, TV show, radio show. They opened a print shop it'd been open probably 50, 60 years by the time my dad finally retired. But I came into marketing, but as a trade, I have real passion for print media. So I probably could attribute my dad and my grandfather.
That makes a lot of sense. So you said you went to Georgetown, but not the Georgetown in Alexandria.
I went to a private school just 30 minutes north of Lexington.
Right.
And midway through there, decided I was a girl from Kentucky who really badly wanted to be in New York.
And you did it. So you ended up in New York working for
Ralph Lauren.
Ralph Lauren, and you said you were in New York for 10 years, but you worked for Ralph Lauren for 7 of those years.
Yes.
And what I find most intriguing about that story is you've met Ralph Lauren. You're like Rachel from
I'm Rachel from Friends.
From Friends, like you've been on the elevator like, should I say hello? Like, but you've been in. I asked you, were you in a meeting with him? You said yes. You were in a group meeting with this guy. That's wild.
He is a real person. It was definitely the nicest company in the fashion industry that I had worked for. Just really a lot of morals and branding and coveting that brand and growing it so that you don't say yes to everything. Not everything is great for you. But also, what better company to learn from in terms of marketing and branding than Ralph Lauren?
Just the experience of living in New York for 10 years.
Oh, it was wonderful.
You said, and you also mentioned that one of your best friends, your best friend.
Yes.
It was your first friend when you got to New York.
Yes, and as busy as a place that it is, when you first move there, you realize that it's pretty lonely. So a lot of the friends that I had were from that first year because we were all kind of trying to find our own way. But to this day, whenever I get through the Lincoln Tunnel, I roll down the windows. I want to smell in the smog. I'd love to hear the horn honk.
Smell that oil and gas.
Yeah, but it's the city, and it was a great time.
What was her name?
My best friend?
Yeah.
Lindsay.
Lindsay. So shout out to Lindsay. Because she mentioned you. She said lots of nice things about you.
Yes.
So then, after this wild career up in New York City, working for Ralph Lauren, and what was your title there? What was you?
I was a brand manager. I did the branding for women's accessories, footwear, and leather goods.
And you traveled all over the country, you said.
Yes.
It had to be an awesome experience.
It was.
I mean,
it was.
Nothing can set you up more for life than, I mean, you had so many different aspects of the world, of the United States. I mean, coming up in the South, then moving to New York City, I mean, college, all of it.
I think it's funny. I had a couple of jobs in fashion, and some of them were a bit Devil Wears Prada-esque. And when you get to Ralph Lauren, all they want to know is like, oh my God, that's so cool. You're from Kentucky. Did you have a pony? And I did. And I did. So it really worked for me.
That is pretty fun. So that was awesome. You had a great career up there, and then out of nowhere you decide that you were married.
I did, yes.
And sometimes it doesn't work out. And obviously it did. So you ended up moving down to Morristown.
Well, I left New York. I got married. I had 2 kids. I got divorced. And I found myself, actually had gone into early retirement, which I wasn't very good at. And I had this branding and marketing background and really a passion for, a passion for that. And so I got my real estate license. Our Weichert Premier offices are in Morristown and Haddonfield. And I asked my broker, I said, I gotta go. Where should I start? And she said, okay, you can go to Haddonfield. And I said, that's great. Where's that? And it actually wound up being the best thing that ever happened to me because I love it there.
All right. And how long have you been there now?
About 4 years.
About 4 years. So, and you said that last year, in a market that's really horrible. In fact, we're going to go left here.
Yeah.
So in a market that's terrible, that you had your best year.
It was my best year ever. And just really...
That's a testament.
Thank you. I would say the bulk of my business specifically is open house based and really knowing the areas that you're in and what those clients are looking for.
Right.
And referrals. It's not uncommon for me to be friends with most of my clients after the fact. I'll go, to Phillies games. I've had clients come to my son's baseball game. I had lunch today with my first client ever.
Oh, really?
And we are still friends, and God love him.
Well, when you sell someone a home.
Yeah, no,
that's like the biggest thing they're ever going to buy, so.
It's nice, and you grow to care about your clients, and since then, I sold his sister a house, I sold his neighbor a house, and that's really what it's all about. It's just giving people a good product and helping with that next chapter.
And how you do it, too, because we talked about that a little bit, and you said that the email and all that trash, that's not your thing. You really like to be in person.
Yeah, I'm not a good cold caller. I'm probably going to be less than lively in that event. But I realized that I like people and I'm very social, and so I started getting out ahead of it, networking. And Jersey Man was the first group that I ever joined, and they really helped to say how can we help you? Hey, stop hiding. Come talk to us.
Oh yeah, shout out to Ashley and Ken.
Yeah, love them. And really the way they got behind me and supported that. And that was hugely helpful. And I've been a part of various other networking events, but it always is so nice when you truly like the people that you're with, multiple times a month.
Right, and you were very candid, and as was I. And I tell people on here all the time that, I have social anxiety and no one ever believes me. And you said you have some of that too.
Oh yeah. I mean, one-on-one, so much easier. I'm going to walk, I'm going to take away and know, who you are, what kind of kids you have, how long have you been married.
Right.
In a large room, it doesn't matter how many times you go to these events, right? When
Same
you walk
questions.
Right when you walk in, you're like, oh, I don't know. Oh, maybe I should go home. And I call it the lazy Susan. The lazy Susan is after I've clung to someone for a while, and then I'm like, okay, I need to take a roundabout. I need to take a lap. And if I leave somewhere knowing one more person that I feel like I really connect with.
That's my rule.
And I say to people,
I try to meet one new person.
One good conversation, but it's so much more than, hi, my name is Liz and I'm a real estate agent, right?
Say hi to all your friends and then meet someone you don't know.
Utilize me. Who's working with handymen, painters,
Yep.
contractors,
Yep.
day in, day out. So don't look at me like I don't have a house to sell. She might not want to talk to me. Talk to me and let me help you, because everybody most likely is going to need some kind of home improvement. So let me be that resource.
Amen. So the other thing you told me is that one of your favorite things to do is to travel.
Yes.
You said you love to travel. So, but you said that there's trips and there's vacations.
So I learned a long time ago that a vacation is something where you may be relaxed, you may read a book. A trip with kids is not a vacation. That is on the go every morning, figuring out how you can get fruit snacks at an ungodly hour in the morning, and giving them those experiences. I would say I was more familiar with how to put my kids on a plane than I was with like how to work a high chair.
So I asked this question, I didn't get an answer, so we're going to do it again. Now I know how to ask it. What's your favorite trip and what's your favorite vacation?
I love to take my kids to California, and that's how you learned about Lindsay.
That's
because
right.
Aunt Sissy is so fun, and they love the palm trees in California. And my favorite vacation, that's a tough one. You know what? I once, you got me on this one.
Come on, there's got to be one that you really liked.
I will say, and it was a bucket list, and I'll never have a need to go back, but Israel was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
But then there's like, I also went to a remote island near Puerto Rico and did nothing and read books and had pina coladas, and that was really amazing too.
But what's interesting is you said that it didn't matter where it was. It could be a great place, could be a place that's not that great. You actually said I could go to Guam and it wouldn't matter. I'm like, it's interesting choice.
It's true though. So one of my best friends from college works now for the embassy.
Okay.
And she's been everywhere from El Salvador to Israel, and now she's based in Tijuana.
Gotcha.
I rewind. I am months pregnant with my oldest son, and I'm like, I'm going to El Salvador.
Really?
And my husband's like, no, you're not. And I'm like, oh, yes, I am. Look at my plane ticket. It was somewhere that I probably would never have gone without her, but I've since been everywhere from El Salvador, Mexico City, Tijuana. And I just have a vast need to know the way other people live and to really not take for granted, where we are, what we have, but also that we should all probably learn more languages, and myself included, because you get out to these other countries and not only are they so proud. I mean, I went to Thailand and they are so proud to show you their town and their culture. And I think something very beautiful about that.
It's a big world, man.
I want my kids to know more, for sure.
Speaking of that, what's your favorite thing to do with your sons?
I'm a baseball mom.
Ah, the baseball mom.
Now, my littlest plays soccer, so soon I'm going to be a soccer mom. But, I think, we're most comfortable when we're on the go.
Yeah.
And I try my hardest, even though my oldest asked me to be a little quieter when I cheer.
Behind the fence, banging on the fence.
He was pitching, and he was like, can you just not stand behind home plate? It's just a little uncomfortable. But you know what?
Happens.
I love him, and I'm passionate, so here goes.
Exactly right. All right, so if people want to get a hold of you, how do they do that?
Ooh, you can reach out on LinkedIn, Facebook. You can look me up on Weichert's website. It's Liz Arking. And you can go to lizarking.com. You can always reach out. Happy to help.
Awesome. Well, listen, thanks for being on.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
This was enlightening. We could probably do this again. She's got a lot to tell, a lot of stories. But you guys out there, remember, keep on walking, keep on moving, follow me on Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, all that good stuff. And we will see you next time on Walkin and Talkin with
Tim.
Peace.
Thanks, guys.